Hello and welcome back to the DRS show. It's me, Hakimel, your cricket expert, and today we have a guest all the way from London. He's a cricket commentator, a journalist, and an author, and his name is Dan Whiting, all the way from London. And let's invite him to our studio.
Hello, Hack. What a privilege and a pleasure to be on. And hello to everyone in Bangladesh tuning in as well. And may I say that your English is actually better than mine. It's actually, you speak better English than me. So there you go.
No, I don't really agree with that. I just learn with experience and everything. And that's a very nice compliment. Thanks for that. And how are you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm all right. It's probably slightly colder in London than it is in Bangladesh. We've had a lot of snow here in England at the moment. Parts of the country are cut off, and it's about 3 or 4 degrees. So you wouldn't want to be fielding in the gully in this sort of weather. You wouldn't want a full-blooded Robin Smith cut shot coming at you to warm your hands up in this sort of weather in London.
So, Dan, let's talk about the England team in 2024.
Yeah, it's been a mixed bag for England. I mean, they had some very good results, obviously winning away in New Zealand, and the style of play that they're playing with Bazball is very exciting. It's good to watch. However, when they lose spectacularly, don't they? And I can see England. They're struggling a little bit against spin. You saw in the series in Pakistan where Pakistan started to prepare some wickets to turn a little bit, and England didn't really have the answers there. So it'll be interesting to see how England move forward. Big year as well. They've got India at home our English summer. I think that's in July and August, and then Australia in the Ashes as well. So it's a big year 2025 for England, and it'll be interesting to see how they cope when they play a couple of the better sides in India and Australia, who've just played out a wonderful series down in Australia, haven't they? Did you see much of that, Hack?
Yes, I have.
It was got a little bit spicy at times, didn't it? It got a little bit, both sides going at each other. But hey, that's professional cricket, isn't it? And I thought it was marvelous entertainment.
Champions Trophy is coming up, and we have got the squad already. Have you seen the squad?
Yeah, I've seen the England squad. I've seen it, so it looks quite interesting. Not many spin options there, so it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, Joe Root and Harry Brook. Adil Rashid, he's one of your spin options, along with Liam Livingstone. So I should imagine that they'll get through the bulk of it. And then with the sort of the pace bowling, you've got Jamie Overton and Mark Wood, who've got genuine pace. But it will be interesting to see how England cope. There's three of the guys that I've been covering at Surrey in that side as well. There's Gus Atkinson, there's Jamie Overton, and Jamie Smith, who's had a wonderful start to his England career. So let's see how they get on. And yeah, it'll be an interesting series.
So let's talk about the county cricket, and which is very popular in England, and which is also very popular around the world. And what do you think about the county cricket in 2024 and all the teams and everything?
Yeah, well, I was lucky enough to cover Surrey in the county championship, and I covered Gloucestershire in the T20, and both those sides won their respective tournaments. So Surrey won the county championship for the third year in a row, and Gloucestershire won the Vitality Blast T20. County cricket gets a lot of bad press. A lot of people say not enough people watch it, but I think it's a wonderful competition. And I was lucky enough to have Shakib Al Hassan last year at Surrey, and the views that came in from Bangladesh was just amazing. I think we had, I can't remember how many it was on the stream at one point, but it was like the whole of Bangladesh was tuned in just to see Shakab, and all these guys were there. And there's a good friend of mine, Jubel Ahmed, and he said, "I've just seen you on television," and he's Bangladeshi. And I said to him, he said, "Oh, I've just seen you at Somerset." So I was thinking, "Oh, where is he? What stand is he in?" And he said, "No, I'm in Chicago." So yeah, but I mean, it was just amazing. And Bangladesh is fantastic. A few of the guys from county cricket have gone over to Bangladesh as well and played. A good friend of mine, John Simpson, who's the captain of Sussex. He played for a side called Brothers Union in the T20 a few years ago in Bangladesh, and said it was a wonderful country, really lovely people, warm people, and he had a really good time there as well. So yeah, I think there are a lot of positive links between the Bangladeshi community and county cricket as well.
Yeah, you talk about Shakib Al Hasan. He just played one game and
Yeah,
took lots of wickets, and all the people they have picked him in the fantasy team. They got rich, and suddenly he just played one game, and he was banned by the umpires, and he was
yeah,
tested, and he was proven wrong, and now he's tested in Chennai. He's proven wrong, something wrong with his bowling now.
yeah. I don't think it's every ball. I think it's when he sort of tries to bowl his quicker ball, perhaps. I didn't notice it at the time when I was commentating. But what was really interesting about that game was it was played at Taunton, which is the home of Somerset County Cricket Club, and they've been known for wickets that turn quite a lot in, especially in late on in the season in September. So Alex Stewart, who's the Surrey director of cricket, who played 100 tests for England, got Shakab in as just to bolster up. So there were four spinners on show. So there was Shakab Al Hassan, there was Cameron Steele at Surrey, there was Jack Leach for Somerset. But the best spinner on show in that game was Archie Vaughan, who's the son of Michael Vaughan, and he's 19 years old and he's bowling his off spin, and he looked a very, very good bowler indeed, and he's just been named captain of England under 19. So but yeah, Shakab, I had the privilege of interviewing him one day, and he's a nice guy, and very sort of down to earth. He wasn't sort of, considering he's a superstar in Bangladesh, he wasn't sort of, didn't have that superstar attitude. He was just normal guy, say good morning, hello, how are you, that sort of stuff. He was, no problem at all.
Well, you have talked about Michael Vaughan. He was my childhood hero, and his son is bowling well. I think he should get some chance in the T20 team and one day team, and finally in the Test team. He's bowling really well.
Yeah, he's still young, Archie. I think he's still only 18 or 19. So, he's, I think, let's just sort of sit him in county cricket and let's see how he does, because he's had a good start. Rocky Flintoff is another one, Andrew Flintoff's son. So the sons of all those players are now starting to come through. But it'll be interesting to see how Archie Vaughan gets on. He's an opening batter as well. So he bowls off spin, but he's also an opening batter. And considering he was up against Kemar Roach and Dan Worrell on a wicket that was doing a little bit, it was, zipping around a little bit. The ball was seaming. And I thought he batted very well. He knew where his off stump was, and he left a lot of, left very well, left the ball extremely well.
So let's talk about your county Gloucestershire, and let's look at the stats of 2024. We have seen lots of runs from Bracy. We have
Yeah.
seen lots of runs from the other batters as well. And what do you think? Who was the best batter in your county?
Well, Cameron Bancroft came in as the overseas player, the Australian, and I thought he was very good, not only with the runs he scored, but his mental attitude in the dressing room. I thought he was excellent. Gloucestershire have got some really good youngsters there, some really good young ones coming through the system. But I think it was in white ball cricket, the win in T20, which was amazing, because Gloucestershire are one of the smaller counties in England, and on finals day, there was Surrey there, who are the biggest county, Somerset, who were the holders, and little old Gloucestershire went to Edgbaston and they won the tournament. And I was lucky enough to be with the players afterwards in their hotel. And let's, I don't want to give too much away on your show, Hack, but let's just say I got out of there at 3 o'clock in the morning.
So I have a personal question as a cricket fan and you being a commentator. How does it feel to be being in the commentary box and talking about the game? Because everybody else is watching the game and talking, but you are the only person who's talking, and everybody can listen to you. So
Yeah,
if there's a six, there's a four, there's a hundred, there's a 5 wicket haul, there's a win, there's a missed chance, there's a catch out. So how do you feel in that particular moment?
I think if you actually thought about how many people you're talking to, you would get really nervous. Yeah. I mean, I just talk as if I'm talking to, a one on one. So I don't sort of really think about it too much. But I think, for instance, especially some of the T20 games, we've had audiences of 150,000 or 200,000 on the stream. If you thought, I'm talking to 200,000 people here, you'd really sort of start to get tongue tied and start to get nervous. But all you can do with commentary is just say what you see in front of you. And you're going to make mistakes. You are going to make mistakes, but just just get over it. It's like batting, isn't it? Sometimes you nick off, sometimes you play the ball outside off stump and you make a mistake batting, but you always get another go.
So you've been part of the BBC radio as well, and let's know more about that. And can you share some stories from there?
Yeah, I worked for BBC Radio London last year covering Surrey. The guy who normally does it wasn't very well, so I managed to get the gig for the season. And they were lovely people down at Surrey. They looked after me very well, and I was lucky. When you've got sort of people like Jamie Smith there, and you're on an away game, you're with them for 4 or 5 days or whatever, and Alex Stewart and these guys in the game who are proper legends of the game, and it's a privilege, and I feel very lucky that I've done what I've done for that season. I also work for the ECB as well, so I covered disability cricket. England played India in a series last year of deaf cricket, which had big numbers on the stream from India, and I work for Gloucestershire, as you mentioned before, Hack as well. So, I mean, I sort of go around. But last year I did 14,000 miles in my car, and I did 80 days of cricket. So, yeah, I need a good sleep now, I think.
So besides being a commentator, and also you write books, and let's talk about your book. What do you think about that?
Yeah, Taking the Mic is the latest book. It's my sixth book actually, but yeah, Taking the Mic is a diary of the 2024 season. So it's covering Surrey, it's covering Gloucestershire, and as I said earlier, luckily both those sides won the two biggest tournaments in domestic cricket in England, and I was lucky enough to see some wonderful overseas players as well. We mentioned Shakib Al Hassan. There's a lad we had at Surrey as well called Sai Sudarshan, the Indian guy who I thought was a really good cricketer. And I'd like to see some more Bangladeshi guys come over. Tamim Iqbal, he's a lovely player, isn't he? He's a wonderful player, and it would be great if hopefully we see a few more Bangladeshi players come into the English County Championship. And I'm just hibernating at the moment in the English winter, and then we'll be back off in early April, and the madness of the county season starts again.
So each cricket fan has a dream of becoming a commentator, and you have become a commentator already, and we always get inspired by you. And can you give us some tips on how I can become, how my friends can become commentator as well?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I was lucky that I did some work with the likes of Dan Norcross on something called Test Match Sofa originally about 10 years ago. But it was always my dream as well. And I think that, yes, you need to practice, but I think the key is also research. And I do about 2 hours research on every game before I go in there. And I have, they release the squads the day before. So normally a 14-man squad or a 15-man squad. And I do a profile on each player. Yeah, and I like to sort of find out where he went to school, the clubs that he played for growing up, and give them a little name check as well, because they had a lot to do with that player's development. The other thing that's really important is squad numbers, because when you're looking at somebody from about 150 yards away, you can't see who they are, and all you can see is like the number on their back. So that is hugely important. But you get to know who the opposition players are, over a 4-day game especially, and by the third or fourth day, it's sort of quite easy. Um, the trick is also to keep talking, and I've always got go-to stories up my sleeve. Yeah, so when the play goes a little bit quiet, I sort of come out with a little story or a little anecdote or something that I always, have up my sleeve just to go to if the play gets quiet or if there's a rain break or whatever. So I think it's always good to have those sort of things going on. But I'm a cricket badger hack, so I live and breathe the game, and luckily I know what's going on, and obviously, the internet and helps, and looking online all the time, and social media helps as well, because that keeps me up to date with what's going on. So I think that's crucial as well. You have to be up to date, and you have to know what's going on, and you have to know what you're talking about as well.
Thank you so much for your time, and I have a lovely time talking to you. And any final words you want to say?
Yeah, can I just say it's been an absolute pleasure to have been on. And if I ever make it over to Bangladesh one day as well, we'll go and have something to eat. All right. So, yeah, big hello, and have a lovely 2025 to everyone listening in from all over Bangladesh.